This is the pattern. It's a tube fly, it's a, not tube fly, it's a double. But I've tied them on tubes as well. It's a very good fly tied on tubes. And this is a good colour combination that basically you can't go too far wrong. The hook I'm using, this is a Salar size 5 in gold. It's a double. Thread I'm going to be using is a uni thread 80 in black. We start at the eye and I'm going to come down around about a good 3 mil or so anyway from the eye. There's 2 hackles in this fly and this is where the first hackle is going to be tied, so I use that as a measure. The rib's going to be a medium gold oval tinsel, so I'm going to catch that in and the way down. It will not pull out. These hooks are flat in the top, so and the grip of the oval tinsel just shouldn't pull out. So anyway, take this down until just slightly by the, say, if you let the bobbin go, you'll see it's between the point and the barb of the hook. Then you're winding round about 3 to 4 turns down the shank, just down the bend. Bring the oval tinsel between the hooks, pull it nice and tight, catch it with the thread. Now what I do is take turns of thread all the way up to that point where I caught it in, and then I draw it back. This separates the tag and obviously helps you put down a tinsel ready for a rib. There we go, as you can see it. If you can turn your hook like that, it obviously helps, makes it easier to tie the fly. Now for the tail you can use bucktail dyed hot orange, you can use fox, lots of things you could use, squirrel even dyed. Now I'm going to use some polar fibre and dyed hot orange. You don't need a lot, just a few fibres. A nice hot orange. I'm just going to slightly bring this in line with one another. You see, you're looking not too long a tail. I mean, I would say at its best probably full length of the hook as a tail. This just helps to stop, adds colour to the fly obviously, but it helps stop the wing wrapping the hook and to make it just looks much better as well. Now I'm going to come in at an angle here and cut it. This will give you a tapered body, or a tapered part of the body, a taper towards the head area. And I'm going to catch in some floss, black floss, just rayon floss. It's just basic stuff, you don't need fancy, as long as it's black and it doesn't fall to pieces. So I'll say unifloss, black unifloss is one of the better ones. Then we just work our way up. As I say, to that point there, just give yourself room to tie in your hackles and your wing, and just form your body using the floss. Just one turn in front of the other. Just there. Cross your thread and tighten up. Just make sure there's wax on my thread, because I'm going to tie off our rib. We're looking for, I would say, 4 to 5 turns, which is normal. Cross your thread 3 or 4 turns. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut it about a centimetre or so away from the hook, and then I'm going to bare the core and then trim it away. This will flatten, this will make it tie in much easier and much neater. And back down. Now I've got this is just to show you the colour This is like a really strong sunburst colour. As you can see, I dye it's fluorescent yellow and then fluorescent red, and this will give you this nice colour. Or you can use fluorescent orange dye, but sometimes it doesn't go that strong enough. So the double dye is much better. And we take one of these larger feathers. This is a Chinese cock hackle. Now it's quite a good cape. It's quite soft. See, that's why the reasons why I bought it, because it's more a hennycock type fibre it's on this, and that's what I'm looking for sometimes in the fly or in the hackles for salmon flies. You can also use, which I like to do, and I'll show you. This is some bodice fox fur dyed the same colour. Tips are always going to be lighter, but the underfur takes the colour, and I use that as a throat and an underwing. I'm tying bigger versions as well, and that's what I like to use if I'm tying like on a tube fly. I mean, I'm just working with the materials to get that nice shape and that nice movement in your fly. Now, depending on how sparse you want your pattern, or how heavy, or it's up to yourself really. Fly this size, there's going to be quite a lot on here, so you're looking for at least 2 to 3 turns. Quite like that. Let's do another one. I mean, there's still enough hackle fibre on this to tie another fly, so don't throw the tip of the remains of the hackle away. Tie that down. See how it's sitting. Now you can use again for the wing here. You can use bucktail, silver fox. You could use goat, depending on the size. Now I'm just going to use some dyed black bucktail. They suit the faster water sometimes, a wee bit more robust, but it's entirely up to yourself. Now we're looking at least by the end of the tail, so put that on my finger and thumb. We trim this, wax my thread, just offer it to the top, and then I'm going to cut the thread into these cut ends, nice and tight. Make sure they're on the top, and then take my thread down nice and tight and back up. Make sure it's kind of low towards the hook. It's fine. I say you can use whatever you like. I mean, I'm tying it. I'll show you. I've got ones here tied with fox, which is much softer. Looks much built. It looks bulkier, but once it's in the water, it does reduce. Now I've got some mirror flash here. This is a Krystal flash version. And I'm just going to take 3 strands. Now always slightly stretch it just to. I think it helps it. Just get a wee stretch, and it takes any kinks out of it. Set it on the top. A couple of turns down, a couple of turns back up, over the top, locks it in. Trim this away. I usually moisten this and then set it on my desk for the next fly. And then I'll use some. This is some fox body fur. You can use dyed a really hot orange. Yeah, Arctic Runner's very good, which I like to use, and again, I mean you could use squirrel or even bucktail. It's up to yourself. Now I want this about half the length of the wing, because I'm tapered out and I want to taper back, so that helps form a nice teardrop shape. Now what I'm doing is just at this point I'm going to make sure it's sitting where I want. I want it on the top. So we check, that's fine. Again, make sure you wax your thread. Tie this in. Trim away the excess. I'm just going to tidy up here. Now we tie in 2 jungle cock eyes, 2 smallish eyes, not too big. You want to get about halfway into the orange part of the wing anyway. So 2 eyes here, and I'm just going to open out the area where I'm going to catch them in. There we are. I always like to tie them on 2 at a time. It's like anything, to practice it becomes easy. Let's recheck, see how they're sitting. Just want a wee bit higher. Both the same length, always make sure they're the same length. Don't many times I've tied the fly and haven't checked that, and I've got one slightly shorter than the other. It's when you're tying the material on the far side, it's always best to check. Now I've folded that back, keeping the hold of the thread really tight and breaking these off. Now to finish off, I'm going to tie in a badger hackle dyed flame or hot orange. The way I get this is a white neck, a badger neck, and the way I get the nice strong orange is to dye it hot orange first, and then fluorescent red in, just to give it that wee bit stronger colour that you're wanting, which I like to see. Take one off now. I'm going to tie this in by the tip. Just catch it on the side, with the good side of the feather facing myself. Fold it back. Tighten up. Leave a nice base of thread ready to tie in your hackle. Just going to hold the thread tight and then break away the point. On the tip of the hackle anyway. And then I'm just going to work my way down. Now, depending on the size of the fly, I'm just going to check this. I want this to be really neat and up against this, so it's always pays you to, if you can turn the hook, have a wee quick look. Lift these hackle fibres up. Nice and tight. One turn in front of the other, drawing the fibres back. And as I say, depending on how much hackle you want, usually depending on the size of the fly. But it's really important that you tie it in close to the tip as you can, because there's an extra turn there that will help you tie the fly. If you come too far down, you start to come onto the thick stem. And if I was a turn short there, I'd be tying in round about here, and the stem is getting to be a wee bit heavy there, a wee bit thick, and a wee bit harder to tie off. So the difference is that single turn makes it easier to tie the fly, or harder depending what way you go. Now 90-degree bend into the stem and then caught it in, and make sure you wax your thread because that gives you the grip. See any fibres going forward, just draw them back and then tidy up. Just take your time and tidy up. Now I'm going to check, I'm just going to be twirl round about to see how things are sitting. That looks fine. And then a wee bit of wax, come in with whip finish. 3 to 4 turns is plenty. Tie off. Always tighten your whip finish up when you do that. Now, I feel that at times you really have to see these flies wet to get an idea of the taper in them. That teardrop shape that you're trying to form with your materials, because it does make a difference with your fly in the water. It'll swim much better if it does that. Now it's just super glue first. I'm gluing the head first, and I'm using the easy brush version, which obviously comes with a brush so you can apply it. And I've reduced the brush, as you can see, I've cut it right down so there's very little left. Now once allow that to dry, then 2 coats of varnish and you'll have one of the best and shiniest heads, and really strong, robust. There we are. So it's a great colour mix.